Hi, I'm Linda from My Sewing Room, and today I'm going to be discussing embroidery on the Bernina line. And we're first going to start with the 5 series. So I'm going to be following along in the Bernina Embroidery book. I'm going to start on the first chapter. So I'm going to take the embroidery arm off. Make sure your machine is turned off. There is a handle here with a lever. You push that down, and your embroidery module will slide off. Now to put it on, you reverse that, but always make sure the bulk of your machine is over the leg of your table. Do not have your embroidery machine in the middle of the table because it will sway as you're stitching. So now I'm going to put the embroidery module back on. And you'll hear it snap in. Now I can turn my machine on, and it will go through its boot up cycle. And on the screen it's giving me an information message. Now my machine was doing embroidery, so it's telling me that my feed dogs are down. I put them up. Now I'm going to go home, and it's going to ask me whether I want to sew or embroider. In this case, we're going to do embroidery today, so I tap on that icon. Now it's going to tell me to put my feed dogs back. Now I'm using one of the smaller hoops today. If you were using a longer embroidery hoop, you will always want to use the table to come with it that comes with this. And you would slide this table on underneath. It provides support for the longer hoop, say the megas or the maxis. And it's important to have because your hoop can bend. But because I'm using the oval, I don't need to have the table on. Also, I have changed the stitch plate from the regular stitch plate that allows you to do zigzag, any type where your needle is going back and forth. This is the single stitch plate. It's important to have that on. Snaps in, and the 26-foot for embroidery. My bobbin's already in. So basically my machine is now set up to embroider. So let's talk about some of the mechanics of embroidering. The first thing that you want is the proper needle. An embroidery needle actually has a longer eye on it to allow for the embroidery thread to go through it without fraying. I have an assortment size 7511 or 9014. Depending on the type of fabric you're using, one of these should always work. I tend to always use 7511, but if I was using a thick weave, maybe a sweatshirt, if I was using anything knit, I'd want a ballpoint embroidery needle because I don't want to stitch through the knit fabric. I don't want to break those yards. I replace my embroidery needle about every 3 to 4 hours. You will actually hear when it starts making a thunk sound. You need to replace them. Always have a very good supply of embroidery needles. Always buy the best that you can, either the Bernina ones or the Schmidt's. Very, very good brand.